So stay to the end of the clip, and I have a little song clip at the end. Just a little brief one. I don't know, it was maybe 30 seconds or something. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, and I will show you what I found. There we go. Well, howdy there. Today, I don't know if this is what it is today. You know, us retired folks, we don't see. So today is 5/7, and I'm pulled my panel again today, and so I am going to take a peek and see what I have. Now I could use this thing, but it goes straight down, and I have just noticed that. I mean, it's good for some things, sometimes, you know, but I noticed that if I can get my light at it from a side angle, I can get different light shades, and those mites will give me a different look, right? And I'll be able to see them in these particles. So if you see here, what's happening is I've got the frame rows, and they've got this all filled out. So this is all done. There's bees are just hatching, they're coming out, right? So this is just them coming out, and some of the pollen is falling off their legs because I got that 8-inch harbor cloth, and when they're walking along that, sometimes it falls off their legs, and because sometimes they have big clumps, it'll go right through that 8-inch harbor cloth. So you can see this. There's really not much going on over here. Not really. That's just normal stuff. That's stuff that if your comb's all filled out, you're just gonna have bits and pieces of them putting pollen in the cells, and you know, bees hatching out, and then the particles from that, you know, the hard shell coming dropping down. And so this side here of the hive is all complete all the way up. I watch them by pulling this panel out on average once a week. I was able to watch them, the trajectory of their advancement in frame building. And I watched them fill out all this first, and then I've watched them now. They're moving. Now they're starting to move over here. And you can see over here I had no frame. I had no built-out frame. I had empty frames. I made them. They're just square wood, just the frames, no panels. I just stuck them. I just built them. You know, some scrap wood, threw them in there. And you can see that they're building out those empty frames, and it looks like they're starting in the middle of those frames. You can see they're all businesses going on over here. So it looks like they're kind of starting in the middle of those empty frames with no plastic inserts, and they're just kind of, looks like they're starting in the middle, they're kind of going outwards, going down and outwards. And so I'll be able to tell when it's all completed. When the right side where the empty frames are is all completed, it'll look more like this side here. These frames are all, this whole side, so I got a double brood box. So they finished that whole, so if you're looking at the hive from the front, they finished the whole double brood box all the way up to the top. I watched them actually, they were doing it. I'm going, oh, they're starting on the upper box. So every time I pull a panel, I can know what's going on, just at a glance. Like, have they gotten over here yet? Have they gotten that far yet? Oh wow! Finally, they got over here. Finally, they're moving over, right? So they're on the move, and so I'm going to take a quick look here and see if I have any Varroa mites. If I don't have any Varroa mites, I went from 200 per pool, so I would leave my panel in for a couple of days and take it out, hundreds of mites, and clean them all off, put another panel in there, and clean my one. I have 2 of these. Get ready to make some more. And then a couple days later, hundreds of mites. And so as I continue my powder shaking once a week, sometimes twice a week, every 4 days for a little while, until I started seeing that precipitous decline. Like, oh, took it out this time. Oh, there's only 50 mites. Okay, well, maybe I'll go once a week. So I went once a week, and there was 20, and then there was 10, and there was 5, and then now there's been none. I think this is the 4th or 5th pull that I've taken out. So if I don't see any mites on here, it'll be over a month since I've seen any mites in my hive. Because if there's mites in the hive that are in a cycle, so they're laying, they're hatching, they're dying, you're going to see them on your panel. I did. I saw the pattern. I saw the signs. I saw the signs. I saw the signs. So I just followed the signs, and the signs said. So now this is for, a lot of folks. Most folks have seen my videos. Most folks who see my videos are seeing them for the first time. So I'll be repeating certain things, especially if I feel that they're empirically important and they have good analytical information. So, so what I see is, it used to be I didn't even need nothing. I'd pull my panel and I'd look down there, and yeah, it was mostly mites. I think they were so sick that they weren't even building comb. They didn't even have the energy to build comb. So when I would look down there, geez, even the red light's bright. So when I would look down there, most of what I saw when I was seeing those hundreds were mites. I didn't even need a light, didn't need nothing. It's like, oh my gosh, my hive's gonna die. I already thought I was gonna lose this hive. Last fall, I thought, well, if this hive survives, it's gonna be pure luck. It doesn't matter how much sugar shaking I do, I don't think I won't be able to shake all those loose. It was just a heavy infestation. And so I just stayed with the sugar shake and, crossed my fingers, crossed my toes, crossed my eyeballs until they hurt. What? I don't know why these are here. So what I did was I kept that. It's called tenacity, I guess. Right? Never give up, never give in. So until the party's over, for sure, right? And for me, the party wasn't over until it was over. When that big lady sang, then it was over. But here they are. So what this girl did, this queen, she laid eggs all winter long. So every day that there was a nice day of 40-ish degrees and it wasn't pouring down rain, so we may be rain for 7 days, and then we get like a break where it's like low 40s, mid 40s during the winter, on or off like that. Sometimes 50, sometimes 60. There would be big swarms, navigational swarms in front of my hive, and that went on all late fall, all through fall actually, all through winter, up until spring, and so on. So she did a good job keeping her hive alive. Yep, she kept laying and laying like crazy all winter long. So good queen. I think I might hold on to this one. She's a good queen. And so what we'll do is we'll take a quick look. Yeah, they're so busy in there building comb that it's really, boy, there sure is a lot of something. I can't really, it's like, what, I don't know what those clumps are. A lot of mold. So it's normal for your your hive to shrink going into winter, and they'll create like a ball, and that's where they'll stay throughout the winter, is like in that ball kind of area to stay warm, and they'll spoon all winter long. And yeah, I don't recall seeing any comb building during the winter. What I recall mostly was just the slow decline of the Varroa Mite count throughout the winter. And so it looks like to me that I still have 0 Varroa mites, which I think is a little bit weird because they're going to always be bringing those in from outside. Because I've got in my neighborhood, there's folks that got hives because their bees are constantly all day long. Every time I go check on my bees, there's marauders all around my beehive trying to get in from every crack around the lid. And I got a 3-tier beehive. So I've got 2 brood boxes stacked on top. Then on top of that, I've got the super. And so those marauders, yeah, they're constantly trying to get in there. Every time I'm out there, when I just kind of sit down and take my break from the things I do during the day, I'm just sitting there enjoying watching the bees do their thing. There's the marauders, and then also these little black hive gnats. I'm just going to call them what they look like. Gnats that are black that get in my hive. Not black hive gnats. So that's just what they look like. They look like they can slide right through a window screen. They're so small. So what happens is they're getting on this panel, and they get that grease on their legs. They start grooming themselves. What's it? And then they bring their wings out because it works its way up their legs, up into the wings, and then they bring their wings out and they start grooming the wings, and it just snowballs from there, and then they're stuck on this panel. And they ain't ever getting off. Yeah, they're spread out. Oh, I got a live one right there. It's one of those black gnat beetles. It's stuck. Its legs are flapping around. Its legs are stuck because it can't move. Its legs are going every which direction. Help me, Mr. Wizard. Get me out of here. Tap my claws. I got to get out. So yeah, I see a lot of those little gnat hive beetles in here. Yeah, once they touch that oil and get it on their legs, they're mostly done. Okay, well, I see 0 Varroa mites again. Wouldn't you think that I got hives around me? You'd think they'd be bringing Varroa mites in, huh? Right? I mean, you'd think so. Just because I don't have any today, or last week, or the week before, or the week before, because I'm kind of losing track how many weeks it's been since I have not seen any Varroa mites. But I am seeing DWV, so deformed wing virus. I am seeing that. I've seen, I think, 3 today. So sometimes the queen becomes the spreader, and she can lay the eggs with the virus in the egg. Now there's been talk about, replace your queen. Well, if you do a split or you do anything with your existing hive, and that virus is in that, if you say you take half your bees and put them over here, you put another queen, did you solve the problem? Not if those other bees that you just transferred into your new hive also carry the virus. That doesn't even make any sense, does it? No, it's going to be there too. They can keep this DWV at bay. Most hives that go into fall with DWV don't make it. They just don't make it. Whether they get rid of all their mites before winter or not, they still don't make it because of the DWV. It's just overwhelmed the hive, and it's just too weak, and she just can't. She can't lay any eggs. Maybe she's also kind of not doing well because of the virus. And so most hives that, or at least a good percentage of hives that go into the winter, or late fall with DWV don't make it through the winter. And because I continued to powder shake all winter long, whenever there was a day break that wasn't pouring rain, I live in Eugene, Oregon, and it rains 1 out of 3 days here. So, so it rained most days during the winter. So most days during the winter it rains, but we hardly see any rain during the summer. So about 3 months, it's very rare for us to see any rain here in Eugene the whole summer. It happens, but rarely. And so I think that by putting that bottom screen board on there and creating a panel and doing the powder sugar shake and breaking that Varroa Mite cycle, that saved my hive. I've seen these folks, they put all these chemicals in there and they do all these things, try to save their hives in fall that are even less infected than mine were. And they don't make it. Now, could my hive be a fluke? Well, of course. Could I have gotten lucky? Well, yeah. I've never won the lottery before, but maybe this was one of them. But I think if we take certain measures, right? If we're doing something, engaging in something that seems to make empirical sense, it's pragmatic, it's rational, it's reasonable, it's there's depth of thought involved, right? To engage in that critical thinking and be very analytical about the process and be confident that yes, this is my path that I'm now going to walk. And I didn't think about whether it was going to work or not. I looked at all the chemicals, I looked at all the processes, and I evaluated every option mid-fall last year, and I made a decision. And the decision was to come up with my way. Blended it with some others, it's like a blend, put it in the blender. But at the end of the day, I came up with my own design and my own routine, and it worked. And it saved this one hive, because that's all I had. I started last April with 2, and the one didn't make it through fall. So I guess I had a 50% success rate. But the other one died, geez, I think it died in July. It died out in July. I think the queen died, but I didn't know. I think she died, and it just shrank, and I wasn't paying attention to that. I just made an assumption that she's okay. But by having this panel, if I would have had a panel like this in the other one, I would have known what's going on. If I didn't see comb build, if I didn't see certain activities, I would have known the queen's in trouble, and I would have said, oh, I need to do a split before it gets too late in fall, because it's tough to do a split in late fall. I've been there. I had 4 queens come out. They tried to do a split, not a split, but they tried to, they made 4 queens, 3 of them ended out in front of the hive, still looking kind of white a little bit. They kicked them out or something. And one, I think, flew away, but she didn't get mated because she couldn't find any drones. So that hive died. That hive died. So there you go. I have another clean plate. My mom always said, clean your plate, boy. Yes, mama. I'll clean my plate, mama. And I have a clean slate, once again. And I strongly encourage folks to adopt the screen bottom board and the panel pull method. Because you're always going to have a sense, at least a sense, with just a pull. I'm gonna check on those girls. I don't know. I think I'll just pull that panel. That'll give me an idea. Just go out there and pull it. That looks good. Put it back in if you want and just go about your day. You pull it out and you see a cycle of mites, you're going, whoa, I'm seeing 5 mites in here. I probably should do a powder shake. Or I'm seeing 200 in here. I'm late on the powder shake. Now I need to try to save my hive. Right? So, yeah, I recommend this process for all beekeepers. Now, people who do it in the industry, yeah, it could be tough to, set up screens for all the hives. And because if you think about what happens when the varroa mites fall down, they get pulled off or whatever, they fall into the bottom of the hive, where are they going to go? The next bee that walks by. They can jump like that far in the air. I watched them. So by having the panel down there, excuse me, they get stuck and they're not going to climb back on your girls and keep that cycle going, right? Or get it started even, maybe, right? They bring a mite that hasn't fully attached, that one of your bees are out and one of them jumps on them and it hasn't fully attached and it falls off, and typically jump on the next bee as closest to it, but instead it drops through my screen onto this sticky board and there it stays. So cool, right? I think this is 5 checks in a row. So I'm probably only going to check it out of curiosity, right? Because I don't have a cycle. I don't show no evidence, because the mites, when you have a mite cycle in your hive, they live and they die and they live and they die and they breed and they hatch out and they get fluffed off and they fall down and accidentally they're crawling from one bee to the next, and there's activity with them moving around and getting knocked off with bees moving around where they're trying to climb on another bee, or right? And so you're going to get that on your panel. You're going to know something is going on with this panel, right? You're going to know, period. End of story. That's just an empirical reality. Right? Just engaging in critical reasoning, right? Common sense. And so, yeah, adopt this, man. You have a wonderful day. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, leave a comment. I do lots of scientific research. Bees is just one. I have my own opinions about quantum mechanics too. Dark matter and dark energy? Well, yeah, I have my opinion about that too. I think dark matter and dark energy is the universe. And in certain conditions of temperature change and pressure change and magnetism and electricity, that happens. Things, molecules and quantum particles that rub together and they create electricity, and it goes. I'm talking about the Varroa panel. Don't let me get distracted on quantum mechanics. Okay, so there you go. All right, subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, and if you have any comments, please leave them. And I go to the top of the pyramid when it comes to me getting information. I don't rely on any hearsay or anything like that. Frankie, he did it like that, and it worked for him for 35 years. And then 50 other people tried that way, and it doesn't work. So we got to understand why it worked for that guy, because he might have been leaving something out. Right? Didn't share with us his little potion, that one little thing. Hearsay. All right, bye now. I saw the signs. 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 I let you drive around my mind. I can't tell how. Whoa, shoot. Yeah. What? Bright light. I let you drive around my mind. I can't count the times you made me feel like I'm nothing. Played me like a fool, like a fool. Saying drink another whiskey. Okay. Drop another pill. Money makes you happy. Oh, there's a live one. I got a live one right there. That one's crawling. She wasn't going to fly though. She lost the ability to fly. Money makes you happy. She ain't nothing but a liar. You're blowing smoke. Bye now. I let you drive around my mind. I can't count the times you made me feel like I'm nothing and played me like a fool, like a fool. Saying drink another whiskey, pop another pill. Money makes you happy. Heaven isn't real. You won't find nobody love because your heart's too broke. Now I know you're nothing but a liar. You're blowing smoke.